Hello, welcome. I'm Holly. I wanted to come down here real quick to get to this topic about what's happening in the WNBA. Like I've said on myriad of occasions that I've been watching since 97, I've been consciously tuned in since the championship of 97. And I find it interesting the pundits that are coming out with such opinions and passionate opinions about the WNBA now. Okay, what am I talking about specifically? So, since this player from Iowa came into the public awareness, she came into the public awareness off the back of being the nemesis to Angel Reese at LSU, who ultimately won the national championship that year. That both of these players came into our awareness. I was indifferent to both of them, to be honest, because I'm going to watch either way they were there or not. So when they come into the league, I'm watching because Angel Reese is in my market. So I have the privilege of having her game being televised locally more often. So I see her play and I get to get a real read on her game because I'm just watching the game. And she just happens to be that player. She has that endurance in her and that diligence and that assiduous effort towards the ball. What have you. Anywho, the other player from Iowa, I really didn't care about. Is to this day, I still didn't care about because still don't care about because when I did watch her play, she was to me a poor man Sabrina Ionescu, and not just a poor man Sabrina Ionescu. She was a wretchedly poor man Sabrina Ionescu. So I was indifferent to her presence in the league anyway. So now fast forward, I would watch like how people would make mountains out of molehills when it came to incidents that would be average in the WNBA. And there would be pundits who never cared about the league before, all of a sudden having these passionate regards for this one player and not the league in totality. And not knowing the history, they speak out of turn about the precedents of activities that's already being in a league. When Lisa Leslie speaks about the player in Indiana, she has every right to because her legacy is similar to the player in Indiana. And she played in a similar style of the player in Indiana in as much as being a flopper, etc. so forth. Shout out to Mia, shout out to Black Cat. Um, if I'm scaring you, click off. Gee, don't scare yourself. It seems like you're scaring you. Anywho, so when I watch this new season, I go into it and I'm not really invested in these. My team is Aces. Anybody who know me know I love the Aces. So the texturary events that happen in the league and those gossip meals and those combats that happen, I get it as a residual. It's not my main focus. And thusly, Indiana, my favorite player on Indiana is Kelsey Mitchell. She's the best player on Indiana. One of the best players in the league, but she don't get this type of hoopla from people who come from out of nowhere who never cared about this league, namely the Stephen A. Smiths, the Whitlocks, the texturary people who have always had a platform for sports and to talk about sports. But yet now, when this new person is induced through propaganda and a context in a way we supposed to hold this player is put into the public, and we're supposed to disregard all the other instances in which these same actions towards this one player is also being carried out towards other players in more consistent fashion, even in more violent fashions. Nobody has the same outrage and concern, if you will, for those players. So it creates the perception that there is no sincere discourse about this conversation. It's only people getting in on the hot topic. And the hot topic is Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Marcel. But the hot topic is Caitlin Clark. And AT is a rugged player. One of the things about AT is the fact that she is a hard nosed, like what they call it, lunch pail type player. Everybody around the league knows that. Her going downhill is like a bulldozer. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows you don't play with AT. Everybody knows she's silent type and she'll move you just cause she can. Her falling in that play that everybody's made everything out of. When I finally seen the full clip, because I didn't watch the game, admittedly so I don't want to speak out of turn. Shout out to Daria. I don't want to speak out of turn as saying I saw the game and the tone of the game. But what I did see was that clip. And if anybody is being honest with themselves, we watch a player fall and inadvertently foul a player. And in their bearings about, or they're trying to get bearings about themselves in getting or regaining a standing and recovering into the play, they hit the other player and then stepped over the other player to recover. Now, out of context, it looks bad. But once you see a basketball play and don't put everybody's story on it, you see a basketball play. The problem is everybody is injecting their own desires and wants and perceptions and imaginations in their own mind into the WNBA, and they've never been here. They don't know who the great players are here. They just came in with this player. And it shows because they speak out of turn about a lot of things. They speak without understanding that things have happened before this player has come into the league. And to frame it as if the rest of the players are jealous of this one player who can't keep up on defense, who got on offense, oftentimes when she's opposite a superior player, it shows y'all are willing to invest in mediocrity just to perpetuate a narrative instead of investing in the real talent that can forward the advancement of the product. It's narrative based in which people are playing with. AT is a quality player. Is she a player in which you can play with? Not at all. Is she a player who is gonna go back and forth with you? Yeah, she'll jaw jock with you time and again. But to create a scenario in which her game is specific in this game to the likes or the presence of Caitlin diminishes why the other 99% of the players in the league are even playing the game. Nobody picked up a ball with that woman in mind. None of the players in the WNBA who ever picked up a ball as a child had this woman in mind. If you exist in the professional league today, that woman was not in your mind. So to perceive that their reason as to play the game is to go at this woman specifically and to negate legacies and inspirations that precede them even knowing this woman played the game is dismissive and disrespectful to their legacies. What does it say of a Asia Wilson? What does it say of a Kelsey Mitchell? What does it say of a Kelsey Plum? Y'all dismissing Paige Becker and y'all dismissing Mabry, Marina Mabry and Shepherd down. That's why I think y'all dismiss the white girls because either they're gay or they're Australian or they're Puerto Rican. They're not wasp. And what Caitlyn represents is wasp. And it's what people are pretending to champion in the current zeitgeist of popular conversations is merit based. And they want everything to be merit based. When in actuality, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, you don't want everything to be merit based. You want her bubble wrapped and put it in a gym by herself and nobody to touch her, and you all can watch her alone. And that's what I wish for you all and her fans. I wish for her fans to have her to play in the gym by herself, where you all can sell tickets to watch her play by herself. So no controversies can be mistaken about what is happening in the actual natural game of basketball. You can actually have her to yourselves. Nobody has to touch her. Nobody has to officiate her. Nobody has to do anything against her. You can sell tickets to that facility, that gym, when she's practicing, and all her fans can gather to watch her play and take her away and preserve her. And so she doesn't have to engage with the WNBA because y'all don't want her to play in the WNBA. Because what it requires to play in the WNBA, I witnessed Tina Thompson get elbows thrown at her throat by Lisa Leslie because she put the dagger in her throat in the Western Conference Final. I witnessed people trip Diana Taurasi come off picks and punch people coming off picks. This is Diana Taurasi, who y'all herald as one of the greatest. Then I witnessed Delisha Milton stick out her foot in earlier years and trip Tammy Jackson just when Tammy Jackson recovered from a foul Delisha Milton had. So we're not going to act like this is peculiar behavior because the likes of Caitlin Clark came into the league. Caitlin Clark, I want to say for the record, I want to be unambiguous, is not as good as you all propagate her to be. Sabrina Ionescu is better than her. Paige Becker is better than her. Marina Mabry is light years better than her. She just scored 53 points in a game. Who else? Shepherd in Minnesota is better than Caitlin Clark. Like, if y'all just want, I would. This is why the arguments ring disingenuous in the fanfare for Caitlin Clark, because there's far superior players that are of her hue that y'all can make that argument for, that people really could back down off of y'all arguments for. But because y'all chose this horse to stake y'all hope in, shout out to Sherry. I'm talking about what happened with AT getting suspended from the WNBA, and I felt like it was unnecessary. She could have got a flagrant at most, and even that would have been unnecessary, but it's the disposition and the disingenuous nature in which people are arguing for something they don't care about. Y'all don't watch the WNBA. So people now are now throwing their narratives on something they never watch because they picked a horse and they're running that horse for their narratives and their bias. And so, because of that, we're getting stupidity that has nothing to do with the actual product that is being played. If anybody want to know, the greatest player on that team for real is Kelsey Mitchell. And if anything, Kelsey Mitchell is getting a lot of whistles swallowed. If anything, Kelsey Mitchell is being neglected by her own franchise and her own fan base for these instances where you detract from the care of the real play that's happening just for some clickbait and some gossip and some disingenuous care that you have for a player you only care about because she made her bones with going against Angel Reese and lost in a championship fight. She lost in a championship in against LSU. It is nothing of accomplishment or note that makes y'all argument seem like it's based on anything basketball. If y'all had Any accomplishments y'all can note to this woman? Because for every assist, there's a turnover. So for every Caitlin assist, I'd rather watch Chelsea Gray, the actual point guard. You understand? Like, it's not me being, I love Sabrina Ionesco. I love Stewie. I love Shepard. Because they hoopers. This woman is a distraction. Paige Becker is a gamer. It's smooth, it's calm, it's come what may. When she went against Olivia Miles, even though they lost against Lynx, Paige Becker was the competitor. I saw the professionalism in her game and the way when more veteranness is put on her game, it's going to destroy the league. Like it's over for half of the league. I wish y'all put y'all energy behind that effort and that talent and that real skillsmanship and craftsmanship. But that's not what y'all are doing. What you all are doing is make a soap opera of the game that I love. I really love this game for real. I really love basketball and the vehicles of womanhood who have progressed the game of basketball for the WNBA should not be diminished for the likes of people being able to get off their franchise or their market storyline. We don't care. The rest of us don't care in other markets. Do that when you get the Bears. We don't care outside the market. The fact that AT gotta suffer, the fact that Kennedy Carter gotta suffer, these are hoopers, ballers to the upright, to the utmost. But they have to suffer to propagate this storyline by people who don't even care about the league to begin with. They were just few years ago calling for the destruction and the demise of the league because they said don't nobody watch. Now they all know and they all watch and they are all experts in the like. Please stop. I don't even care if I agree with your newly found opinions on the matter. I don't fuck with Acho. I don't fuck with Whitlock. I don't fuck with Stephen A. Smith. I don't mess with Shannon Sharp. I don't mess with none of y'all because y'all were upon the genesis of the propagation of the soap opera that is being mushroomed and growing and blossoming before our eyes. Now y'all want to take and flip the fence like y'all didn't participate on that other side. You don't care, you wasn't there, and you've been talking out of turn. Now when y'all talking out, but then when you were talking out of turn, you were adding to the destruction. Now when you talk out of turn, you trying to backbite on you talking out of turn back then. Just shut the fuck up. Act like you don't care for real. One thing I will respect about Gilbert Arenas in this regard, and when he acted like he didn't care about the WNBA, he stopped talking about it. And he let everybody else patronize the public as if they cared about the WNBA when they were talking. He outright said he didn't care to the point in which he disregarded the fact that his daughter played Division I basketball. He did not care about women's basketball. And even now when he talks about women's basketball, I do not like this man, but I respect the fact that he says I don't watch them. And I respect them who do that. These newfound pundits who've never watched, never cared, and still don't care, all of a sudden want to speak as experts. Shut up. Stephen A. Smith, shut up. Skip Bayless, all of y'all, the dude who had his own show on Fox Sports, who was sitting at the desk like it's a night show, he outright said, why are we even talking about like this is legitimate sports? Now he wants to have an opinion. You don't get to have an opinion. You don't think it's a legitimate sport. So you can't have a legitimate opinion about a sport you don't think is legitimate. I am off of this. I feel like Caitlyn is a Trojan horse to allow people who never gave a fuck to all of a sudden give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm very much okay. I'm very much okay. I'm putting on the record what I think about this Caitlin Clark debacle with AT getting suspended from the WNBA for a foul that would have been a common foul or a flagrant foul at most. But because newfound people who don't know this league all of a sudden found their horse, their Trojan horse, to pretend like they care, now are making mountains out of molehills where it stands to be no subject. But now we have to have a subject, is why I'm having this discussion. I am very much okay. Thank you for asking. Anywho, so with that being said, I've been here for quite some time, and I think I've thoroughly explained my point. Um, if you are a real fan of Caitlin Clark, go cover her for real and like get her back into basketball and get her. When Gino said that he did not recruit her, and she openly said that in high school she wanted to go to UConn, and he said she do too much, I realized that we aren't all tripping who watch women's basketball and seeing that her disposition is not conducive to being or advancing in competition. You think the game is old to you. It's the same disposition that Lisa Leslie had. Sorry to break a lot of people's little feelings, but I actually watched the totality of Lisa Leslie's career in the WNBA. And the same disposition that Caitlin Clark has and had is the same disposition that Lisa Leslie had in the WNBA. That's why when Lisa Leslie is discussing things concerning Caitlin Clark, please don't distill it from a racial perspective, because the league chose Lisa Leslie just like they chose Caitlin. And a lot of things that Lisa Leslie was afforded in the league came by way of astroturf politics of the league itself. Like in the DC, the first ever DC All-Star game, that MVP should have went to Tina Thompson. But the politics of it all, just like today with Caitlin Clark, they configured and politic for Lisa Leslie to get it back then. So when Lisa Leslie speaks about today and how the league is with Caitlin Clark and how she's speaking from experience of having her, shout out to Daly is your name, or Dalen Phelps. Shout out to you for saying hello to me. Thank you. But back to what I'm trying to get on the record, Lisa Leslie knows what she's talking about. And she's not being a hater, she's being an understander of that dynamic of politics where people, because even to this day, when people don't know about the WNBA, but when they want to speak of old people, they bring up Lisa Leslie, which tells me you didn't watch. Even if, unless you're from LA or unless you were a Sparks fan of the time, you didn't watch for real, girl. You lying. You just saying what's flagship to your ear. It's like saying Michael Jordan to the NBA or Wayne Gretzky to hockey. You didn't watch, boy. You just saying what's notable to the mainstream understanding. And that's exactly what Lisa understands. So that's what she understands from Caitlin's perspective. She is a mainstream notable character to people who don't watch it ear. And because of that, they are willing to align with whatever narrative hits them first instead of being informed by the actual product of competition that's going on. Caitlin is a floppler. Y'all have better people. If y'all want a hope, if y'all want a great hope, I would choose, shoot, Paige Becker, Marina Mabry. Shoot, I would let y'all go with Cameron Brinks over with y'all, Caitlin. Sabrina Ionescu is light years superior to Caitlin Clark. Sabrina, with one hand behind her back, put Caitlin Clark to Stewie. Y'all don't love Stewie? Stewie is a Hall of Famer. She has championships on 2 teams, just like Candace Parker has a championship on every team she went to. Y'all don't love Stewie. Y'all would rather choose Caitlyn over Stewie, over Paige, over Plum, Kelsey Plum G. Y'all are weird. That's how I know y'all don't watch. But to those who really watch, y'all know what I'm saying for real. Like, the game is being tainted by a narrative that really isn't at play. The actual product of competition at play is that girl can't hang. She weak. She need to get in the weight room. She need to get in a step quicker. They pass in, blowing past her on offense because she can't keep up. And instead of trying to figure out how to keep up, she's complaining and trying to uh, make a skill of flopping instead of making a skill of keeping the freak up. Gee, just keep up. If she kept up on defense and then added a step quicker on offense, then I could see y'all being what y'all doing for her. But she ain't that. Y'all doing it for the wrong one. If y'all really love the game for real, this ain't not like this. For real, like not like this. AT, we know, is a bulldozer, work hard nosed worker. She's a lunch pail worker. Y'all gonna throw AT a triple double under the bus? Yes, this is an off season for her, but AT is a Hall of Famer. Y'all gonna throw a future Hall of Famer under the bus for the narrative? Not like this. Not like this. Stewie, Sabrina just won the Commissioner's Cup. Whenever her team wins, it's when she's not there. Y'all can pick a better person. A better person to throw this narrative behind. Whenever Fever are really on the up and up swing of the potential of being contender is when she is hurt. Y'all can choose somebody different is all I'm saying to throw this narrative behind if you just have to have this narrative because you aren't experts in the league, and because you aren't experts in the league, y'all come off like nitwits to us who know. And then because most people don't know, you get away with sounding like nitwits to the majority because you picked a hope. I wish y'all picked better hopes. It's like Jackie Styles. It's like Ruth Riley. It's like Rebecca Lobo. Y'all pick the worst hopes. Y'all don't pick the Katie Smiths. Y'all don't pick the Lindsay Whalens. Y'all don't pick the girls who was hooping out they bottoms. Y'all don't pick the Jennifer Azies. No, not the Jennifer Azies, not the Katie Smiths, not the ones who can go. Y'all pick the ones to make you feel good. And that's not going to win on the court. It might make your spirit feel well, but it's not going to win in competition who doesn't care about your feelings. And the merit of competition shows I'm stronger, faster, quicker, smarter than you, the one you're picking for your hope. And to the ethos, tell the future, I most definitely said so.